Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Sheldon, and this is Behind the Enthusiast. Today is, well, quite possibly the last day for riding, and so I'm taking advantage of this by prepping my 2017 Suzuki DR-Z400SM for the winter. We're going to do an oil change on it and put some fuel stabilizer and all that stuff. We're going to go through the winterizing process, not entirely in this video, but this is part of the winterizing process, changing your oil at the end of the season for winter storage. So let's get into it. First things first, you wanna go out, get on the bike, go for a nice ride, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, up to you. Come back, fill up the gas tank. And again, this is part of the winterizing process. So that's what I've already done. I put my fuel stabilizer in there. And then obviously you're going to want to start taking all this stuff off. So I took the side panel off just because I wanted to have access to my battery tender dongle there. Check the air filter, which is going to get replaced this winter. And for the DRZ, you're going to have this skid plate on the bottom. You're going to have 4 bolts. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to be using a 10 mil. So, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, but in focus, 10 mil. So 10 mil takes that off of the bottom. So right up underneath here. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, but you will see it on your own bikes. So you take that off, and then you have 2 drain plugs. So you have one right here. So you guys can see that. That is on the neck of the frame there. And then this one right in here. You're filling your oil through the neck here, through this cap. So the oil ends up going down in through there. And I did watch a video on it. Basically, it overflows. It gets to a certain level, and then it overflows into the other compartment. It's more or less how they explained it. So you have the 2 compartments. So the one drain plug there, the other one there. The one on the bottom, the transmission one, is the largest. You're going to be using a 14 mil. 14. So that is going on this one right here. And then you are going to be using a 12 for the other one. So a little bit smaller. Again, this is the one that goes up right underneath there. You guys will notice that you will get oil on the exhaust. The exhaust is actually relatively cold now because obviously I've drained everything prior to recording this just so that I'm prepped and ready to go. But you will end up getting a little bit of oil on the exhaust. So obviously when you start up your bike, once everything is completely done, that will probably smell really bad, you know, as it burns off. So don't worry too much about that. But again, 2 drain points, make sure those are completely done. Obviously, I've got oil in there, so I've already done that, but that is how you guys do that. And then, of course, you're going to want to have your new oil and begin the filling process. Just in case you guys were wondering, just before we get into that process of filling it up, these are the old crush washers. They're relatively mangled. And that is because the new one should look like this. So you see how there's actual thickness there? This is going to collapse. So make sure to use new ones on your drain plugs when you're putting them back on. Do not forget to do these. These are very, very vital. As per the recommendation of the video that I watched years ago on how to do this oil change, I am using the 10W40 Thumper Synthetic Oil by Bel-Ray. I have a little bit left over in this one for my last oil change, and then I have a full one. So between the 2 of them, I'm going to end up filling up the bike. Also, if you guys have an oil filter, I will show you guys how to put the oil filter on as well. That is something that you should also be doing during this process, and any O-rings associated with that should also be changed out too. All right, now the removal process for the side cover, this is the right side of the bike. You want to remove this guard. It just basically avoids you making a mess on it, which I already did, unfortunately. And this is still leaking out right here. But we've got 3 nuts that have to come off using a 10 mil. So hopefully you guys can see that 10 mil. That takes off 1, 2, 3. This is the cover. There was a spring on it. Be very careful with the spring. Don't lose that. And as you guys can see, there is a line there where that oil is kind of sitting in. This is the O-ring. The O-ring should not be stuck to that. I do have a spare one, so I will probably end up swapping that out. You should also be lubricating that O-ring when you're putting the new one on. And this filter, I have a brand new one. I'm going to put that on as well. So make sure to take that out. Lean the bike over if you need to, just to help drain the rest of the oil out. As you can see, kind of making a mess all over the side of the motor right now, but you guys can always clean that off, brake clean or whatever on the metal components only, just to clean that up, or just grab a rag. And so we're almost done. Now here is a parts list for you guys. So we got that one. That is for that cover, which I have right over there. So keep in mind, that is the one that goes on the outer ring here. That's where it's seated. But again, goes in there. And again, lubricate it a little bit just so that it's not sticking on. And then you also have this number right here. That is going to be going right in there. Hopefully you guys can see that. So that little stem that sticks out, that O-ring goes right on there. And then we've got KN139. This is the new filter. The opening goes onto there as well. So the solid piece is facing out, just like you guys saw when I removed the old one there. And that concludes all the components being changed out. So all I have to do now is button everything back up and fill the oil right in there. It's kind of hard to see. There's the cap right there. And we're going to take that off and we're going to fill up the oil through there, check the level, make sure everything is good, run the bike for, I don't know, about 30 seconds, double check the dipstick on there as well, and we will be done. So this is the dipstick fill point, which I was referring to. You guys undo that. And then as you guys can see, there's markings there. Any questions at all, you guys can either leave them down in the comments section. I will also be posting some photos from the owner's manual for reference for you guys for the amount of oil that is required in the motor, which is 1,800 milliliters. That is all that goes into here for the oil. And as per recommendations in the owner's manual, the 10W40 is what you should be using. So make sure you guys are using that or any of the alternatives, which they recommend only. Don't just put any old regular oil in your bike. That would be a bad thing to do. But this is the fill point. So once you fill this up, you double check the level. Everything's good to go. You are completely done. Well, guys, what did you think of that? There was a nice how-to oil change for my 2017 Suzuki DR-Z400SM. And when I say my, that is also model year. So 2017, this will obviously apply to a bunch of other years. You guys can use this video as reference. And of course, like I said, make sure you check your owner's manual for any questions. Or if you guys have any questions and you don't have an owner's manual, leave those down below for me. I do have one. I can look it up for you guys and confirm any questions that you guys have. There's a lot of stuff in the owner's manual, even on how to remove the front tire, the front wheel rather. So Lots of information in that booklet, so if you guys don't have one, feel free to ask me some questions and I will do my best to help you out. So if you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button so I know that it's working. Comments, questions, leave them down below. And of course, be sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss out on future content on the channel. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.